Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yohana is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Gathered on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there.
West till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he abdominal. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical. Guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupon for Uber. Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. A showstopper, been his proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm doing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, but down the D, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. You in live Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, Biblical Scripture Breakdown class. The priest and captain 10,000, not the Zach Shah. All right, he in the Isupk. All right, we'll give everybody a chance to get in the Scripture Breakdown class. Okay. All right, all right. So what we going into tonight, of course, questions. Anybody got any questions in the room? Go ahead, type your questions in. All right. Go ahead, type your questions in. We're going to get to it. Everybody, a few moments to get in there. The brother Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shah Ragatham, Yahweh Shemor Alathan, Ba Shem Yahweh Shah. All right. All right. Look like nobody got no questions. All right, Most High in Christ. Let's keep going there. All right. All right, all right. So, what's happening now? We're coming back as a people, rebuilding our heritage, rebuilding our identity. Of course, tomorrow you got Purim coming up. There, remembering what the sister Esther did. You understand? Like I always say that you hear, sisters have an amazing role in a nation. They have an amazing role. You understand? That the Lord created a woman to do is not to be taken lightly. This evil society has promoted to a woman, has promoted that a woman get rid of her role that the Lord created a woman for. You understand? But this sister Esther, she recognized and understood that the ability that the Most High had given to her was something very precious. You understand? A very powerful thing that was used to save the entire nation. You understand? Which they're going to go into these next couple of days with the story of Esther. You understand? And how she didn't count her life as being more important than the lives of her people. And that's a very powerful lesson. And it's a different spirit from the spirit that is on our people, especially sisters today, because of the world, because of the society that our people have immersed ourselves into since integration. Since we joined our oppressor, you understand each decade pushes the needle a little further in the incorrect direction. But the Lord gave us rules, and these rules are our guidelines how to get things back on track. So, what we're going to do here is we are going to start with Deuteronomy chapter 20, Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3. Like the Lord gave us instructions here, and these laws are so very important, they cannot be overstated. Where the Lord says, neither shall thou make marriages with them. We were never to join another nation of people, join their culture, join their society. And it would seem like now so much of what you see is what's now considered so-called black culture. But so much of so like it can go live here. I thought it was live. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, now we live there. Okay. So much of what is considered to be black culture does not come from our people. You understand? In fact, we've been so far separated from what our culture is that any and everything now can pass for black culture. Like everything is you understand is black culture now. Whatever's popular, whatever's talked about, whatever's in the news, whatever a record label or a movie or an entertainment executive decides, that in itself becomes black culture. You understand? That becomes our culture as a people. If it's popular to be Bob Marley, if it's popular to smoke weed and you understand and grow dreadlocks, then even though smoking weed and growing dreadlocks is the East Indians culture, then it will become black culture. You understand? Like now, if you see any depiction in most cases of someone strong and representing powerful black people or figures, you will see some strong brother, usually with dreadlocks, even though that is not our culture. But because we've been so far removed from what our heritage is that the Lord gave us, everything has made its way to become our culture. And that's why here in the ISUPK, we do something that's so unpopular, it's so out of the norm. And that is we fight for our heritage and the culture that the Most High gave us. We put on our fringes, we put on our culture, our customs, our high holy days, our language, our apparel. You understand? Serving the God of our fathers and our people, not taking any customs from anyone else. And that's a very important thing that the Lord wants us to separate from the customs and cultures of the other nations of people. And that's what we do here in the ISUPK by cleansing our people of what we've put on to make up for the fact that we are separated from our heritage and we're just looking for some culture. And I'm gonna explain that here as we go over these scriptures. As a matter of fact, we're going to start in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 1. The Most High gave us instructions coming out of captivity, which we right now in 2024, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, so-called Latinos, Seminole Native Americans, so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, we are currently in captivity. We are in captivity under a number of oppressors, not just one or two. You understand? We are under the East Indians. They are oppressing us throughout the West Indian Islands. We are under the Moabites. They're able to oppress us, you understand, throughout Central and South America. We are under the oppression of our oppressor, the chief oppressor, the so-called European, the Caucasian man that is ruling, that is the overlord over our oppression. That's causing the oppression in Central South America, all throughout Latin America, all throughout the Caribbean, be it the British, the Dutch, the French, the Portuguese, so much so that the culture of our oppressors, you understand, has permeated and changed what we deem is our heritage now. That we're proud of a heritage that does not come from the Most High. We're proud of a heritage that we have created from the remnants of us fighting to get free from the identity that oppressors have created for us, be it in Islam, serving the gods of the Arabs who put us in slavery, or different African traditions like hoodoo, trying to take on their customs from them that put us in captivity. You understand, when we were on the west coast of Africa, and all throughout the Bible, we were having wars against the Philistines and all of these nations who are so-called Africans. You understand, the Babylonians, so-called Africans, Ethiopians, you understand? All right. So the Lord gave us instructions. And not only were these instructions to be our culture, but this is what automatically made us a people. And that's a foreign concept to us. And for you brothers and sisters coming into the truth, coming into the school and in the ISUPK, the purpose for Christ giving his life on the cross and the purpose for the Bible, these records, the prophets, the disciples, everything that has been done throughout the Bible has been the Lord establishing us as his people. Every other nation of people has no problem establishing themselves. They have their identities. So much so that here in America, where everyone here is deemed American, they still have the Chinese New Year. They have their own separate New Year for being Chinese. They have their own separate New Year for being Japanese. You understand? These people have their own separate New Year celebrations. The Ghanaians and Nigerians have their own separate New Year celebrations. But yet, instill in the minds of Blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, our New Year is America's or our oppressor's New Year. You understand? Nobody gives up the identity and the heritage of their people to join another. And that's something that we teach our people to not do and to put back on here under Commander General Yohana and the ISUPK, because that is the spirit of the Most High. So now we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, when the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it. The Lord gave us instructions about how to go to a land and possess it, to own it, to control it. And the instructions that the Lord were going to give us is things that are going to make sure that we always possess and own the land where we are. There was a time in many of our cities, all throughout America, that we owned and possessed our side of town. In every major city, there was the side where our oppressors were, that had the majority of the resources and everything that was for them. And then there was a side that didn't have as much funding, it didn't have as much development, It didn't have as much resources that were available on the white side of town. We are in Black History Month, but it had things that we made for ourselves, how we conducted ourselves, being a different people from our oppressors. Even though we were in the land of our captivity, just like in ancient Egypt, the Lord had us in a separate part of Egypt to where we did not live with them. You understand? We weren't a part of their world. They knew we weren't one of them, and we knew we weren't one of them. You understand? That's why the Most High gave these instructions, and it's so very important, and it's so very key to us getting back to what we forfeited by looking for some place to belong for something we didn't have when the Lord had already blessed us with our own. We just needed to keep developing and improving on it, which is what everyone else who comes to America does, except for our people. Right now, they're talking about Trump running in the primaries, and they're talking about, can Kamala Harris hold it down? Is Joe Biden too old? And what are they doing? What are they doing? They're trying to galvanize and see how can they get the black vote, the swing vote, you understand, the Clarence vote, the yeser vote. You understand? And why are they doing that? Why are they not trying to fight to get the Chinese vote? Because America's getting ready to go to war with China. They putting battleships all across the seas. You understand? America is in a proxy war with Russia. They're not trying to get the Russian vote. They're not trying to get the Japanese and the Korean vote. America's full of Japanese and Koreans. They're full of Asians. In fact, if you look up and see what's demographics of people in America, while they're talking about the budget shortfalls and mass evictions, and we trying to get jobs created, and the economy is in such a rough time. Salakia, 1 second. Hell, ended my video. What's going on here? Salakia, bear with me just a time. If you take a look and see, you'll see that what happened there. You'll see that the different ethnic groups of people that are making the most money here in America by group. You got the Koreans, the Taiwanese, the Hong Kong, the Koreans, the Chinese, the Taiwanese, the Filipinos, the East Indians. You understand? When you take and look and see who is controlling so much of America and succeeding and doing the best as a people, they're not black people, they're not Latinos, they're not Native Americans, but yet and still America is looking for us to use as a pawn to make political decisions, because everybody else knows that they're only here to get things for their team and their people. But we are the swing suckers that think that we are part of a game when two sides of the same family are battling for what resources that they're going to control, that their people already dominate and decide where they're going to distribute it. You understand? They're tricking our people right now to think that immigration is the biggest issue here on the planet, and the Latinos are destroying America because they fill in the streets, the immigration everywhere, and all of these things. And this is the problem, so that they can push this in the news and use again the emotional state of Black people and Latinos to go out and vote and put somebody in office thinking that there's something there that's going to, someone who's going to have your people's best interests at heart. You thinking building a border wall because you're a legal Latino and these are evil, illegal Latinos, or Latinos are stealing the jobs from your cities. You know what you don't hear talked about on the news? The millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars spent to quietly and discreetly and humanely and humanitarianly hide and assimilate the Iraqis, the Ukrainians, the Afghans, And everyone, especially the people America's been at war with for the last 20 years, America's back at war again right now within Iraq. You understand? Billions of dollars have gone just like that to fund wars overseas. 90 some billion for Ukraine, billions for Israel. And Israel is already filthy rich. They bombing and destroying every surrounding country around them is getting leveled right now by the Israelis. Yet and still America is giving them billions of dollars more because there's no shortage of money in America. They just have no intentions on giving it to blacks and Latinos. You understand? NASA, like the general brought out on the Commander Giuliano's radio show. It takes billions of dollars to run NASA's space exploration programs, to manage spaceships, to manage the Space Force, yet and still nothing in outer space. You understand? No changes of things is needed in outer space that's going to affect the day-to-day lives of people here in America getting thrown out on the streets, losing their homes, and filling shelters. But they have hundreds of billions of dollars for space exploration when all the damn people live here down on Earth. You understand? Like it's a game that has been run on our people. And this is why the Lord gave us instructions before we encountered the other nations of people, so that we didn't start to think that we were supposed to be a part of their world and their society and be swayed by what we see that they have that we don't have. What we see their culture is versus what our culture is. And the Lord did not want us to do that. The Lord did not want us to do that. That's why he gave us these instructions. Shalom. Yahweh Shemal Athan Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah Barakatam. All right. So the Lord said there in Deuteronomy 7 and 1, when the Most High thy power shall bring thee, you meaning the Lord your God. This is the God of your people. You understand? That's one of the most central things to coming and becoming a people again and fixing our problems is realize we are a people all together and we have a God that is not for everyone else. Just like all of the other nations of people, they have their own God. Christianity, our oppressor, made a God for himself and a culture to go with it. Islam, the Arabs made a God for themselves and a culture to go with it. The Asians made gods for themselves and a culture to go with it. The East Indians made a gods for themselves and a culture to go with it. This is the God for our people and the culture he gave us to go with it. It's very important, all right? Especially as we change from the culture that we've been raised in to the culture that the God of our fathers gave us that we're reading about. So it says, when the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee. Why did he cast out many nations? Because he did not want us to think that we were supposed to join and be a part of someone else. You understand? And the people that you see at your job, the people you see at the grocery store, the people that you see when you're out about in the city, this place here is an evil and an unclean thing known as a melting pot, where all people come together and all people get here to gather resources and live together and be in each other's neighborhoods and community. That's how it seems to you, blacks and Latinos. That's how it seems to us. But in reality, the other nations of people are in their communities that you don't even know where they are. They're full in America. You're not going to the they're not going to the grocery store with you. You understand? Y'all name me some of y'all grocery stores. I do the same thing about every few years just to do a test, just to see if something changed. You get new brothers and sisters in the school. So just to do a test. I want y'all to name me some of the grocery stores in your areas where you are. What we got in here? All right. We got Sister Anna, Sister Aisha in here. We got Natazam. We got Richmond. We got Virginians. We got Louisianians in here. You got Suffolk, Chester, you understand? A couple of Suffolks, some Kings, some Prince Georges. Now, okay, one sister said Aldi's, some Aldi's. Okay. What else do we got? We got a Kroger, Harris Teeter. We got Walmart, Aldi's, Kroger, Harris Teeter's. All right. Publix. All right. Y'all pouring them in. We got a Publix. Food Lion. All right. All right. Mosai and Christ. Harris Teeter's, Kroger's. Okay. Food Lion and Walmart. Okay. Mosai and Christ. Food Lion and Walmart. And I just want to make sure I do this test again, like I do every few years. How many Chinese and Korean families do you encounter in the long lines at Food Lion and Walmart and Kroger and Publix and Aldi and Harris Teeter when you go to get your groceries? When it's you and your sisters and the cashiers and your mama and your aunts and your co-workers and your neighbors, when you go to get your groceries, how many families are you seeing in the grocery store full of Chinese families? Anybody full of Korean families? Full of East Indian families? Lots of them, they everywhere. You understand? See all the Chinese families, all of their foods, getting their milk and you understand, they bean sprouts and they curds and you understand, they bamboo and they baby corns and they squid and sushis and teriyaki this and lo mein that. You understand? Very few. What about East Indians? I just want to check. What about East Indians? Y'all see many East Indians? About Pakistanis? Rarely. Now I ask this probably about every 2 or 3 years just to do a test. Okay, someone says they see a lot in your area. The sister that said that, who do you see a lot of in your area? Because most of the brothers and sisters are saying no. But in your area, you said you do. Who do you see a lot in your area? And where do you see them? The vast majority of brothers and sisters are saying no. Okay. Like, who do you see? You see the Chinese. There's tons of Chinese families at the grocery store. You in the checkout line with with the cornbread mix and the greens and the sweet potatoes and the apple and the shredded cheese and the noodles for the macaroni and the chicken legs and thighs and you understand the ground beef and the noodles for the spaghetti. And you look over and it's all the prawns and guptas and it's a whole row of guptas all going down the line. East Indians, Koreans, Chinese. I'm near the East End. Okay. But you see lots of them. So you in a specific zone. But to the vast majority of brothers and sisters who replied everywhere else, they're not seeing them. Meaning the majority of where we are shopping as a people, even though we can go to Subway and we can go to a store and you'll go into these different places and you won't see the people who have businesses in the communities in the neighborhoods where we live, where we go to school, where we travel. But they have entire cities and communities that they build for themselves, that our people have no idea as a whole, even if a small pocket of brothers and sisters here and there may, the majority of us here, just like the majority of any brother sister we would ask on the street, they would have no idea where or what they would buy at the grocery store. What are they eating? What are their hair care products? I mean, brothers and sisters, when you go to the beauty supply store, what are the beauty supply products that the Koreans and the Chinese and the East Indians, what are they putting in their hair? Are they getting Remy? They getting creamy crack? They getting Nexus? They getting mango and shea butter oil? What are they putting in their hair? You understand? What are they getting? They putting S curl cream in their hair. What are they buying? When you go to the store to get your hair care products, what do you see the Chinese, the East Indians, the Koreans, what are they getting to put into their hair? What do you see them do? What are you saying there? Nothing. Do you even see them getting stuff for their hair? Where do they go to get their hair done? Do you see them? You understand? I know we getting our hair done. getting our hair cut, getting braided, getting washed, getting shampooed, getting, pressed and curled and blow out and straightened and finger waves and pineapples and swirled and curled and beehived all up and lined up and braided, micro braided and French braided and twisted and plaited all up. You understand? And getting locks retwisted, even though it's not lawful. You understand? Getting dreadlocks done. But where do you see them in your cities where they have business, where they get money on a regular day-to-day basis that they extract from our communities and take back to theirs when we don't shop with them? We don't go get our supplies from the place that they get their supplies, but they know where we are and they set up shop and they do amazingly well. You understand? Hey, Shalom, Mother yo, sure, break it down. Like, this is something that the Lord had warned us about. An order has all of the help that you need built into that order. You and I, Isupk, you brothers and sisters, you get an order. Everything that you need is contained in following that order. And when you don't follow the order that you were given, you short yourself from the Lord's help. You short yourself from the Lord's protection. We short ourselves as a people by disobeying the Most High. Now, I asked those questions for a reason, because now we want to go back and see the instructions and to get a better understanding as to why the Lord told us these things. You understand? I don't know why this keep going on. All right. It's a lot. So Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. The scripture says, when the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou go to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee. Like, the Lord want to put this in your mind that the other nations are not supposed to be with you. The Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. 7 nations greater, they're bigger. Mind you, we just came out of captivity in Egypt for hundreds of years. They were not in captivity. The East Indians were not in slavery for hundreds of years. They didn't lose their language. They didn't lose their culture. They didn't lose their heritage. They didn't get new names in another language. They didn't lose their diet. They didn't lose their records of their forefathers and their kings and their wars and their history and their gods and their cultures and how to have their families and how to raise their children and what to teach their daughters to make more East Indian women and what to teach their sons to have more East Indian families. They didn't lose the blueprints and the instructions that they had passed down to them from generation to generation. But we had been in captivity in Egypt, and we are in captivity now. And this is a spiritual thing that the Lord wants to give us. The Lord wants us to understand, as you brothers and sisters coming into the truth, is to put into your spirit that even though we are around these other nations, we are not supposed to be a part of them. We're not supposed to be a part of them. And they already know that they are not supposed to be a part of us. The only time that they are around is so that they can find somewhere to set up a business, to get an investment property. But the only way they can get an investment property in our community is we lose our homes. That's how they get to flip them and own them and become the landlord. You understand? That's how they get to set up a sandwich shop and sell their culture and their cuisine, or a temple to set up their religion, so that if you join them and you serve their God, they control your city. You understand what this is? Okay, everybody want to talk now in a teaching class. They control, and the Lord said, these instructions that I'm giving you, this is how you own. This is how you possess where you're going. You understand? There's a place you haven't been before, but I'm going to give you instructions so that you as a people can succeed and dominate and flourish in this place where I'm going to send you. Because everyone else gets instructions about how they can flourish over the top of our people before they leave their lands. America is known as a land of opportunity because of all of the wealth that America has from centuries of being able to oppress the Native Americans, being able to take the inventions and get free labor from Native Americans whose land this belongs to, and the Mexicans whose land the United States belongs to, and so called Negroes who were stolen and fled from our homeland into the Middle East, where we settled on the west coast of Africa, where the Africans and the Arabs, along with the Europeans, all divided us up and got rich and sold us both to the West, majority to the West, which are men, and women being sold to the East to be sex slaves in the harems of the Arabs. You understand? The men that they took back to be slaves in the harems, many of those young boys, because they love the little boys over there, is not an alternative lifestyle. If a grown man wants to have adult relations with a boy, they can dress him up as a little girl, because as long as he hasn't hit puberty, it's not an alternative lifestyle in their culture. It's not LGBT in that culture as long as this boy hasn't hit puberty, because it's not really a man, it's a boy. It's not really different from a girl. You understand? Like, these are cultures the Lord never wanted us to be a part of. You understand? The Lord gave us instructions just like any good black or Hispanic parent. Before you get somewhere, you're going to get instructions on how to behave. And we have lost our way to behave as a people. You understand? At every level. That's why teachers are quitting by the thousands all across America. You understand? Like, we've lost our way to do things, and these are the instructions for us to find our way back. Let's get some more of these scriptures. The Lord named the nations and said that they were mightier than us. And they were mightier than us. But they were only mightier than us because we've been in captivity. Like, we in captivity now. And we are trying to gain our strength back as a people. This is how we do it. First step, when you see these other nations, the Lord wants you to be separate from them. He's going to give you more. Verse 2, and when the Most High thy power, he keeps saying the Lord thy God over and over again, because the God and the instructions you are getting are for your people, your family, future generations of Mikes and Rays and Treys and Deontay's and Jose's and Maria's and Carlos, future generations of Jocelyn, future generations of Tierra and Brianna and Nikki and Nia and Nika, you understand? And Gloria, you understand? And Lisa and Yvette, future generations of our people. This God is of our people, not everybody else. And it's important to put that into your core as a brother or sister, because the Chinese know at their core that they're Chinese, whether they're in Nigeria, whether they're in France, whether they're in Hong Kong, or whether they're in, you understand, Arlington or Annandale, which is a big Asian community in Annandale. You understand? They know that they're not to forfeit their culture because they have money and wealth and jobs and prestige or success somewhere. That doesn't mean you give up your soul because now you're able to eat more than one bowl of something a day. You're able to have things. That doesn't mean you trade your soul because now you have enough to survive, enough to live, enough to spread around and get some sort of comfortability. Which, when our people get these things, like Steve Harvey told to Monique, which you're hearing in the TV shows, which you're hearing in the interviews, lady, this not about integrity. This is about having money. Meaning, in order for them to accept this, the integrity don't matter as long as you getting money. You can't have both. You can't do both. You understand? And the Lord said he controls wealth. And he given us instructions to make sure that there's no break in communication and break in us having what the Lord is going to bless us with as a people by disobeying him, which there was, and we lost it. So let's get some more. He said, and when the Most High thy power shall deliver them from before thee, or deliver them before thee, meaning he's going to deliver them before you, meaning you are going to see them. What's going to happen when you see them? Thou shalt smite them. What does it mean to smite? The Lord is going to explain. And utterly destroy them, meaning destroy them. At one time, the Lord's instructions were given to destroy them, to physically go knock down their temples, evict them, wipe them out, not to join with them. That was the physical instructions that the Most High gave at that time. Those instructions are not the instructions at this time. That's why we are not physically waging a war against any nation. Christ said, "Wait ye upon me." And you understand? And that is not what the instructions were now. At this time, those were the instructions. However, we are spiritually still supposed to be against these other nations because they are against us. They have us under a siege. They have us in captivity. They've committed hundreds of years against hundreds of millions of our people, hundreds of years of crime and genocide against our people. You understand? All right. So, this is what the Lord is saying. This is how you're supposed to feel to get your spirit in a proper perspective as to how the Most High feels about the other nations, so that you can learn to channel what you are supposed to do, so that we can channel what we are supposed to do with our relation to the other nations. You understand? So the Lord is explaining, thou shalt make no covenant with them. No covenant, no deals, no agreement, which is the opposite of what Jackie Robinson did by integrating baseball, the opposite of us joining their military, fighting for them, joining their police force, getting in their political arenas, becoming their district attorneys, becoming their cabinets and their mayors and their government offices. That's the opposite of what the Lord gave us instructions to do. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you what it means. Because the Chinese are not trying to be the mayor of a city. Which city has a Chinese mayor? Which city has an Arab mayor that you know? We'll just stick to Virginia. Which city has an Arab mayor, a Chinese mayor, an East Indian mayor? Where are these cities? And who lives in these cities? We know black people have black mayors in black cities. Baltimore has a black mayor. New Orleans has a black mayor. Philadelphia has a black mayor. Chicago has a black mayor. Washington, D.C. has always had a black mayor. Detroit has a black mayor. What else? Give me some more cities. Got black mayors everywhere. Black mayors. I'm sure Atlanta got a black mayor. Got black court officers, black justice of the peace, black district attorney, black, you understand, blackly black everything. All black everything. But you don't know who the Chinese or the other nations of people's court representatives are. Oakland, California has an Asian mayor. That's right. Shang Tsung. You're right. The Asian mayor, the broad name Shang Tsung, or something like that. She the mayor. All right. Oakland does have that. But you understand, the cities are being run. There's a black mayor there in Pittsburgh as well. And I'm sure that Pittsburgh is doing wonderful with that black mayor, just like Baltimore and Richmond and everywhere else. I'm sure the city is wonderful. In Oak and Detroit and Chicago, I'm sure those cities are doing very well. They're not full of murder and crime and poverty and mass evictions and joblessness and high incarceration and gangs of brothers and sisters fighting and shooting and unaliving each other all through the streets with failing school systems and lead in the water and wage problems and all kind of problems like that. I don't recall seeing many yeah. You know why you don't recall seeing any officer calls support? Because they don't come to America to be the goddamn mayor. They're not trying to join and be a part of the system. They're here to get resources for their people because they have their own God, they have their own culture, they have their own history, and they're not forfeiting any of it because they come to America. They're not trying to be the damn Super Bowl champions. They're not trying to be the NBA All-Star champions. They're not trying to be the mayor. They're not trying to sit in the White House. They're not trying to sit on the courts to show that I have a dream. They're not living no goddamn dream. They have a reality. And we must wake up from dreaming and hoping that wonderful things will happen. If we could just get into that house, we got to just make it there. We got to just make it there. They're not doing that. And that's why they're succeeding as a people. And this is what the Lord gave us instructions to do so that we can put our spirits the right way so that we can succeed as a people. That's why he said, you shall make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. How does that translate into this day? The Lord gave us instructions to get rid of them physically and put them out of our land. How does that translate into this day? Don't take their customs. Don't take their cultures. We don't repeat their religious sayings back to them. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. That comes from Christianity. Christianity is not from the God of our people. Christianity was used by our oppressors to exploit and harm our people. So, because of that, we will have no covenant with anything Christian. We won't say Christian sayings. We won't celebrate Christian holidays. We won't have our minds put to think and operate like Christians. It is a Christian thing to give a woman a ring and a piece of paper and say, now we are married. We're going to go to court. This means that this is a relationship that I should take seriously. That's Christianity. The same Christianity also said now that if you a man and you like your Xbox buddy a whole lot, you can go and give him a ring, and that same piece of paper that you would give between you and a woman, it now means the same thing for you and Jim. You understand? If you happen to not be able to get along with any human being, and you got your dog, your buddy that you love very much, and you get along and you rub his belly and he wags his tail or she wags her tail, and she's always there for you and knows when you're sad and upset. If you want to go down and legally marry your dog, there are states and places here in America you can go and get a license and marry your dog. If you got a blow up dog, you can go and marry a blow up dog, and it will mean just as much as you getting that piece of paper that our oppressor from his Christianity tells us to go and get. And this means that this is a marriage and we're in this permanently forever. But that's not our culture. And that culture has failed our people for decades. You understand? So, what we have to do is change what we think about our oppressor's culture that we've inherited, and then make no covenant with them. Understand what it is that we've been taught to do versus what the Most High gave us orders and instructions to do. This doesn't mean you go get a divorce paper, because that's not our custom. If you went and got a ring and a piece of paper marriage in a courtroom with Esau, that's fine. This doesn't mean you undo what you've done there, but we have to change how we think so that we can make better decisions for the future generations of our people, which is what every other nation of people does. You understand? So let's get some more. He said, thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. You understand? And I'm sure right now the world is talking about what a terrible, horrible tragedy is going on right now all throughout Ukraine, and Ukraine is battling Russia, and it's a terrible war, and they fighting for Ukraine. And Russia is evil for going and attacking Ukraine. You understand? And it's terrible. However, however, when the Ukrainians are evacuating people as the Russians are bombing them, black people weren't allowed to get on the trains to get out of the Ukraine. They had to stay there so that real Ukrainians were able to get on the trains to get out of the cities before the Russian bombs hit and unalived everybody. You understand? So, although it may be terrible and sad what they're going through, those are not their problems. That's not our problems. And we have to reserve the love and the mercy that we have so that you can give it to another Black, Hispanic, or Native American when the same and worse wars by a situation that the United States government has created for centuries throughout Latin America. A worse living condition after the CIA flooded crack cocaine and heroin throughout Central and South America and created the drug cartels and armed the drug cartels and trained the drug cartels and created the drug trafficking and smuggling routes and gave them United States military weapons, just like they gave to the Taliban, who they've been fighting against for the last 20 years, and ISIS, who they've been fighting for the last 10 years. Well, ISIS got all of those. And they also got dropped neatly right here in America, and you've never seen Afghans or Iraqis on the street sleeping in hotels, being evicted from hotels in Chicago, being thrown out on the streets of Colorado. You've never seen that because those people matter. They matter to our oppressor. They matter to the world. You know who doesn't matter? El Salvadorians, Mexicans, Guatemalans, Ecuadorians, Venezuelans, Puerto Ricans, Haitians, Jamaicans. They don't matter. So, what we have to train our spirit to do is we cannot give away our love and our mercy to join and try to see things from another people's point of view because they don't have any spare love or mercy to see things from your point of view. They see your house, you getting evicted as it is an investment opportunity. Your failed businesses is where they're going to put their nail shop. Your failed businesses is where their corner store goes. They don't have corner stores in the other nations. They didn't have corner stores everywhere. The corner stores were homes where black people had a business on the lower level of their house. They called it a storefront. And the levels above the storefront, where you got your black shoemaker and your black candy store, your black bakery, your black barbershop, down in the basement on the storefront, that's where the business was. And upstairs is where the family lived. Well, those became the carryouts. And up top now it's a dance studio for Pilates or yoga or something. They've capitalized off of the decay of our society after we disobeyed the Most High. So make sure that you reserve your mercy and your love and your sadness and your tears for Haitians, for Mexicans, for Venezuelans, for Puerto Ricans, for Guatemalans. Make sure that you have your love reserved, that you haven't given it all away, to feel sorry for the Palestinians, to feel sorry for the Israelis, to feel sorry for the Yemenis and the Lebanese, to feel sorry for everyone else because your people need that love. Love is a resource, just like everything else. Jobs are a resource. Labor, manpower is a resource. Food is a resource. And resources do not come in infinite supplies. And you cannot be strong as a people as long as you give away your resources to other nations of people. That's why if you go to their Chinese business, you'll find Chinese employees. If you go to their East Indian business, you'll find East Indian employees. If you go to the Korean spot, you'll find Korean employees. And every now and then they might throw you a bone and you'll go into the carry out and you'll see old Roscoe, you'll see Jose in the back making tortillas and cooking steak and cheese and dropping wings and stuff. Every now and then you might see that, but that's a crumb compared to the massive amount of wealth and revenue that they gain off of our people while we are destroyed. And it's not just here in America. For those of you, most brothers and sisters, the tribe of Judah, most brothers and sisters that are born here in America, you don't really know what's going on throughout the rest of so-called Latin America and the Caribbean. Throughout the Caribbean, the Chinese are setting up businesses and exploiting and getting rich all throughout the Caribbean, from Jamaica to Trinidad, you understand, all the way down through Central and South America, setting up, owning farms, owning lands. The Japanese doing it all down in Bolivia and in Peru, getting filthy rich, you understand, all throughout Central and South America. The Arabs are doing the exact same thing. Come down there, get rich, set up businesses, bringing their families. And because of the culture throughout the struggle and the suffering that we have endured and created something wonderful as a people to be proud in with our music and our dance and our fighting spirit and our boxing abilities and our capoeira and all our martial arts and our warrior styles and everything, that they use something as in our cuisine and our food and our dishes as a wonderful advertisement for the world to come now and benefit off of the reputation from the suffering and the hard work that we have done to make a country a wonderful place while reaping none of the benefits. Just like they privatized the beaches in Central America and in Puerto Rico. Certain beaches, the whole island is a damn island. It's beach on every side, damn near where you go to. But in certain parts of it, you aren't allowed to because some other nation of people owns it. Like they're feeding off of us, and the Lord gave us instructions so that we can put our mind and our spirits in the proper perspective and put our sons and daughters and future generations in the proper perspective so that we are building and strengthening us as a people. And this is our God. This is our ways, our culture, our records that is not going to join another people. So let's keep going. All right. So now, when we get to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3, the Lord has already told us don't make an agreement, a covenant with them, and don't show mercy unto them. All right. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. You're not supposed to do that. The Lord is against interracial marriages. Now, our people, because we've gotten away from serving the Most High, everybody just make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit the share, hit the like. Everybody make sure you do that. It helps the algorithm. We need that for the channel. So everybody watching, just make sure you hit the like, hit that share button on all our platforms there. All right. Let's get those likes up in here. So let's see. All right. And the Lord is saying, don't do this because what will happen is you'll have the next generations that come that won't look at things from the perspective of us being a people. This is everyone is an individual, or we're all Americans, or we're all something. But the rest of the people there are playing a team sport. That's why they removed slavery out of the textbooks. That's why they removed the Trail of Tears and the conquest of the New World and unaliving and the genocide of the Native Americans. They removed that out of the textbooks because they're trying to give the most advantage possible to their team. They don't want their children to learn all of the horrible things that those founding fathers that they celebrate on President's Day did to give them an America to be proud of, to give them a pledge of allegiance to a flag, to make a country where they can be proud to be an American. They did horrible crimes. They unalived millions of people. They lynched babies and children. They fed our children to alligators. They gassed brothers and sisters on the border. They made the tribe of Isupk take baths in gasoline and bleach and then put them in gas chambers before Hitler did what he did to a couple of million of the small hats. Hitler learned that from America. America was doing that to Mexicans before the Nazi regime rose to power. America was already doing that. That you won't learn in history because, again, we are learning our history from them. This is another reason why the Lord said, don't make a covenant with them. Don't join them. Don't bring your family and try to interject your family into them, and don't inject their family into us. And the Lord explained why. So keep going. He said, for they will turn away thy son from following me. What does the Lord mean by following him? What is the purpose for following him? What does he mean? Like, what's the purpose for following him? Like, why does it even matter? Let's get some people answer. Why does it even matter? What does it mean? He said they're gonna turn away thy son from following me. Why does it matter? What does it even mean? Like, why would the Lord even take time to say that? said that what they will turn away thy son from following me. Said they're going to turn away thy son from following me. Why would the Lord, why would the Lord even say that if you turn away your son from following me? What does it mean to follow the Most High? Everybody say they following God, they serving God. What does that even mean? Why does that even matter? What is that about? Why would the Lord even say that if you turn away? What does that mean? Ask some of y'all, get in here. What does that mean? What is that about? What is the purpose for the Lord even doing that? Does it matter? Doesn't seem like it matters. What does it mean? To keep his commandments, to keep his commandments. Not how do you do it? What does it mean? Following his laws, statutes, and commandments, lose his coverage, okay. To follow them would to be a sin against God. Okay. Y'all giving good answers. Y'all giving good answers. But let me see, I might need to rephrase the question. For what reason did the Lord who already created everything? He already made everything. He didn't need our help to make anything. Everything was already made. He made the sun, the moon, the stars, the waters, the land, everything that was needed, he made. He was finished. He was done. It was perfect. He said it was good. He even rested from his work. He made a whole day just to rest from his work. He made a day to rest from his work. So what does it mean? Let's see. Let's see what y'all got. Let's see. What does it mean to serve the Most High? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Let's see. Sister Rakawa, to follow them would be a sin against the Most High. That's right. Sister Raha means said to lose his coverage. Oakland Israelites said following law, statutes, and commandments. Haran being separate. Kawana keep his commandments. Trupa Kazaki keep the law, statutes, and commandments. I'm gonna give it. It's right here in this chapter. It's in this chapter. You understand? It's in the chapter. I'm gonna give it to you. I see y'all might not understand what I'm asking there. Let's get it. All right. There you go. Aharon is getting on to it. All right. Think. Let me give you brothers and sisters some help. Think UPK. UPK. Just think. Think UPK. We'll give you some more clues. Just think UPK. What does it mean to serve God? To see if we will listen to him and do as we told. All right. Sister said, see if we listen to him, do as we told. All right. To be a holy people. All right. To be a holy people, the truth. Okay. To be a holy people. What does that mean? The Lord, you on it. You on it. To be a holy people. Where we at? 8:10. Okay, let me give you some answer. Here we go. The Lord told us, right? The Lord told us at the beginning, he said, when you go into the land, it's going to be people that's already there. I'm going to cast these nations out from you. I'm going to get them out from you. It's already going to be people there. When you get there, you are going to possess it. You're going to take it. You're going to possess it. The Most High is going to deliver them before you. He's going to separate you from them. They bigger than you. They stronger than you. They're mightier than you. It's 7 complete nations. That's what he said. He gave us instructions. He told us about them, and he told us what to do in concerning them. He said, destroy them, get rid of them, move them, step on them, not show them mercy. Says, neither shall you make marriages with them. Don't join them. Don't bring them into their family, and don't offer your family to join and be a part of theirs. Because they will turn away your son from following me. It mentions your son so much throughout the Bible because your son is going to carry the nation on. The son is the future of the nation. He gave instructions to make sure that no father gave his daughter away to a different nation of people. But the son carries the seed to reproduce the nation. And if you give your daughter to another nation, then your daughter will start to carry the seed, or our daughters would carry the seed to reproduce some other people and their culture. And that is going to weaken your people and your culture and your heritage. From the very beginning, the purpose for these instructions that the Lord gave to Adam, what did the Most High tell Adam to do with these instructions? What did he give these instructions? He gave Adam instructions. What did he tell him to do when he gave him these instructions? You understand? What was Adam's orders? What did he tell him to do? Form man from the dust of the ground. Adam's in his lowest state like everybody else. We know the dust of the ground, meaning he was in the world. He didn't have the truth. He didn't have his laws. He didn't have instructions. He didn't know what was going on. He just walking around, just looking, trying to get things together, just trying to make it, just trying to make it, looking for something to eat, some place to stay, not get eaten or crushed by the bigger animals. Everything was just out of order, but everything was created. Everything was finished. The 7th day, the Most High rested. All right. Gave instructions. What did he do? All right. Not to eat the fruit from the tree of life, to multiply. All right. I'm getting some y'all answer the questions. All of those are good. But the answer, Officer Yagadar, Officer Mataza Karaz said dominion, rulership, and dominion. That was the point. The whole point of the Most High Power, who created everything, the heavens, the earth, the seas, the skies, the stars, outer space, stuff we don't even know about, can't see, stuff that's here on earth that we don't know about, can't see, haven't discovered, things like that. The whole purpose the Lord gave Adam the knowledge of the truth is so that Adam could be in charge. And Adam would be the Most High's representative and his power on earth so that he could show how great and mighty he is through man. And then he gave Adam a rib to help him have dominion and rulership over everything that the Lord put him in charge of. And then he told him to multiply, to make more people who would extend the rulership that the Most High gave to Adam so that there would be one people above all of the other people that the Lord created on the face of the earth. These laws, statutes, and commandments the Lord gave. We're going to read, we're going to keep reading. It's hard not to just skip down and give it. We're going to have to go back. But these laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave, he gave instructions to make sure that your spirit was completely severed from the idea that anything is important about these other nations and people. The idea that they were important to the Most High, you were supposed to know that He did not care for them at all. That didn't mean He didn't take care of them. That didn't mean He didn't provide for them. That didn't mean He didn't have a place for them. That didn't mean He didn't have a purpose for them. That didn't mean just because you saw them, you were supposed to abuse them or attack them or harm them or berate them. The Lord gave specific instructions for these people that were living in our land at that time because the Lord was reestablishing the same order and instructions that He gave to Adam, that Adam's sons messed up. And then He started the same process over again after the flood. From Noah's sons, they refilled the earth again. Then they started again with Abraham, one man that He's going to make special and then start His chosen people all over again. And then He passed the covenant from him to his son, from him to his son, from his son to his sons, who are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, who are all of so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans today. The purpose for the Most High giving these instructions was to put us above all the other nations on the earth so that we could rule everything. And in His grace and mercy, He did this. For thou art a holy people, Deuteronomy 7:6. We are a separate people unto the Most High thy power. The God of this Bible made one people to be separate unto Him. The Most High, the Lord thy God. This whole Bible is talking about the God of this one people have chosen thee, meaning He had options for everybody else that He already made. Remember, at the beginning of this verse, of this chapter, the Most High named 7 nations that are greater than thyself. 7 nations. He named them. The Girgashites, the Hittites, the Hivites. Egypt was greater than we were. That's why we went into Egypt. But the Lord didn't want Egypt. He didn't want the Girgashites and the Jebusites and the Hittites and the Hivites. He started and made one people special from the beginning with one man. And then He gave him instructions and He put something in that man to make better people than all of the other people that He made. And then He gave a culture and rules to facilitate continuing the dominance of that people that He made special above everyone else. Y'all still with me? Let me know y'all still with me. Just give me one. Let me know y'all still with me. Give me some ones. So make sure I didn't lose anybody. This is why He said don't marry another people, because the best and the special people I already made a part of your family. You understand? All right. So then He said, thou art a holy people, the Most High chosen thee. He had options for all the other people because we were the last people to become a nation. A special people unto Himself. Above, meaning out of all the people that He made, this is the one that was special to Him. Mind you, He made everything. He made the sharks, He made the bees, He made the wasp, He made all the turtles and eagles and pretty flowers and all of this here, and the rivers and the lakes and the outer stars and the space and planets and everything else that He made. But He made a people special to Himself. He filled the planet with people. He filled the world with creation. And then out of everything He made a favorite of something for Himself. Everybody knows what that's like to have a favorite something. Brothers and sisters, you may have a favorite pair of shoes, a favorite jacket, a favorite coat, a favorite movie, a favorite food, a favorite drink, a favorite food, a favorite place to go, a favorite memory, a favorite vacation spot, a favorite car. The Lord made something His favorite, and He gave His favorite every advantage that He possibly could, and it said, here are the rules to make sure that you keep this advantage over all of the other people that I made on the earth. That's what he gave to Adam. That's what he gave to Adam's sons. Adam's sons forfeited it, killed everyone, and started over. Then he gave it to Abraham, he gave it to Isaac, to Jacob, his 12 sons, all of their sons and children and daughters, to us here today. He gave us the details. Imagine if you get like you going to get something so very precious and important. You understand? You're going to get something, and it's like this is the best thing that you could ever get. You want it, you want it so much, you're prepared for it, you're ready for it, you've been looking forward to this your whole life. Something is great and it's wonderful. And you know all the wonderful things about having this. What you don't know is the responsibility that's going to come once you get it. What's going to happen if you don't properly maintain it? Everybody has an idea of what their favorite car, their favorite house is going to be. Lots of people say, I'm getting a house and getting this and their favorite this, and that's fine and that's wonderful and that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that, and that's not a sin. However, the responsibility of maintaining it and what is going to happen to you and your family if you don't maintain this wonderful thing that you want so bad, that you plan to have and possess so much, but you don't know the other side of getting that car. You don't know about the tolls and the tickets and the parking and the gas and the property tax and the insurance and the fee for the tires and the oil change and a rock hit your window. You got to get that replaced. And your muffler get busted and your shocks go bad and your heat goes out. The heater coil is bad. Electrical problems. The seatbelt not working. The locks ain't working right. The window motor is jammed up. You know the wonderful and beautiful things that you hope for about this thing that you want so very much because it's so special to you. Well, the Lord in his wisdom and in his love, he not only gave us the instructions and gave us the best prized wonderful thing that he said was the best, he even told us the opposite of not taking care of what he said he would give us before we accepted the deals to that contract. Like that's love there. Everybody knows, this is wonderful. You get your house. Everybody don't know what it's like to have to get your roof done, to have to get the heat fixed when your pipes burst, when your water heater go out, when part of the house start to sink because the stuff ain't leveled right, when the driveways start to crack, when you got rodents in the house or raccoons in your attic or a bird gets in the house or squirrels running around. You got mice, so you got to battle roaches, or you got snakes crawling around your grass in your backyard. You got bears eating out your trash can and your raccoons. You know all the wonderful and the good, nice, sweet, pleasant things about having a house, but you don't know the other side of the responsibility that comes to maintain it. The Lord not only told us, I'm going to give you the best. You're my favorite. I will always be with you. The other people are nothing. Don't worry about them. Here are the rules. As long as you do this, I will be with you. And if you don't, here is the exact punishment, the exact consequences, the exact what you're going to suffer and go through if you do it wrong. He told us that up front. The credit card company is not going to tell you the negative parts about this credit card that they're going to give you. They're not going to tell you the negative parts about that loan that you're asking for from the bank. They're going to tell you, we'll give you these student loans so that you can get in school and we're going to help finance your education. They're not telling you about how you're going to pay for this throughout the rest of your life. They're not telling you about how this debt is going to get passed along to your children after you're dead and gone in many cases. You understand? Like they're not telling you the full scope of the contract or the covenant that you are making, looking at all the wonderful things that's available. Well, the Lord didn't play us. He didn't game us up and lie to us. He said, I made you special above all people. And as long as you obey me, I'm going to make you blessed. You're going to be the best. Ain't going to be no problems. I'm going to chase the other nations out. Anybody rise up against you, they're going to pay. They're going to be running for their lives.
You will be the best because you are my favorite and you're better than everyone else that I made. And I made everyone. That's what the Lord said. And if you don't do what I say, you're going to be on the bottom. You're going to be struggling. You're never going to make it. Your kids going to be killing each other. Your woman going to be at your throat. Your baby's going to be gone. You're going to be on child support. Everybody going to be sick. Kidneys and bladders is going bad. Eyes is failing. Heart, knees. You're going on reservations. You're going to be at the bottom of slave ships. The Lord told us the details to the contract up front. That's love. Nothing that you buy, they're going to tell you all the good and bad up front. That's why you got to go online and take a look at the reviews. You think you're getting the best product available. 300 people that bought this damn vacuum cleaner that you see this commercial and you want it like everybody else. Then you realize this vacuum cleaner is garbage. Well, the Lord told us up front, this is the full deal. This is the details. This was going to happen. This is if everything go right, and this is when everything go wrong. All of it's up front. Like that's how special we were to the Most High. The Lord even said, I don't do anything before I reveal my secret unto my servants, the prophets. Like in every generation, the Lord set the prophets up to tell us a word and instructions from the Most High at that time, what the Lord wanted us to know and what he wanted us to do. He never left us without instructions. Like that's how special the Most High looks at us as a people. You understand? So when the Lord is saying, I made you a special people, a chosen people unto himself, above all the people that are upon the face of the earth, like he wanted us to have dominion and rule everything. That's why your music is the best. That's why you dance the best. That's why you sing the best. You understand? That's why you run the fastest, you jump the highest, you hit the fastest, you hit the hardest. You understand? Everything we touch turns to gold, but it turns to gold for somebody else because we've not obeyed the Most High. That's why DJ Khaled say we the best, we the best, we the best. But DJ Khaled been in the music business for years. DJ Khaled not going to jail for income tax problems because the accountant's stealing monies from him. DJ Khaled not getting unalived at all the rap parties because he in the rap world making business, making music with blacks and Latinos getting shot up. You understand, like Nicky Jam and a couple of other ones, and Daddy Yankee getting killed and all of that. You don't have to deal with none of that. He get all the benefits, none of the problems. You understand? Like this is stuff that the Lord was warning us about. Okay. So when he said, now we're going to skip back up to verse 4, the Lord said in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me. And this is where we are now as the people. The Lord said, joining another nation and people would teach your son to not even look for the things that's pertaining to the Most High. And what were the things that were pertaining to the Most High? The stuff that was best for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. By joining the other nations, your Latino son is not looking for what's best for Latinos. He's looking to mejor la raza, which is what the Christian Catholic Church has taught our people to do. Not to get closer to his people and the God of the Bible, who is a black man, or Jesus Christ, who is a black man that died for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's looking forward to becoming less ethnic, less curly hair, less accent, less my people, my people, my people, and all people. Democrat, Republican, we have to vote. I don't want to be Ramirez. I'm Ramirez. I don't want to be Diaz. I'm Diaz. I don't want to be Jose. I'm Jose. You understand? I don't want to be this ethnic name. I want to separate myself from those people, that ethnic stuff that's all the struggle and just trying to make it and trying to get somewhere. I have made it. I do fit somewhere. You understand? Separating yourself from the brother and the afro and the beard, and we fighting injustice, and we all we got, and we got to do this for the black and the brown. No, we're not just black and brown. We're Americans. We're not going to be separate. We're going to be all together, like joining separate your spirit from now doing what's instinctively done by every other nation of people. You understand? Which is to do what's best for their people. Now that your son has been married to the Arabs' culture, he's not looking for the Most High. He's looking to promote Islam. He's looking to get closer with the Arabs. He's looking to be a better Muslim. He's looking for Ramadan and ways to push the Islamic community to be better and stronger. He's not looking to push the God of his forefathers and justice for his people and things for his heritage, because he's turned away from his heritage so that he can go now and be an Arab, be a Muslim, or go now and be a Democrat, or be a Christian, be a Republican. It's not looking for focusing on what the Most High wants. And guess what the Most High wants? What does the Lord want? The Lord wants his people. That's it. The Lord wants his people because he made a people special. And he said, I love this people. He never said he loved any other people any time on the face of the earth. The only people that God in the Bible said he loved is Israel. The only people God said in the Bible he made special was Israel. The only people he promised salvation for was Israel. Throughout the entire Bible, nobody else is special to the Most High but us. You understand? So the Lord said he will turn away thy son from following me. And now, if you've married yourself to that Egyptian culture, you won't be looking for what's best, bringing the 12 tribes together so that you can uncover your ancient records and history, so that even when you're presented with the facts that we're not Africans, that the Egyptians did have another dark-skinned race of people in captivity in their land, as it states on their hieroglyphs, that they did have and practice wanton, grievous alternative lifestyle lives, that they did have temple prostitution and women shaving their heads off like Nefertiti, you understand, and cutting lines all in your head and shaving your head off. You understand that was not our culture, and incest and adultery and uh, laying with animals and dead bodies. That's why the Lord put it in the Bible. You cannot lie down with a beast. You cannot lie down with a woman after she's been with the beast. They both got to be put down. A man cannot lay down with the beast because the Egyptians did that. They worshiped those beasts and those animals. They were their gods. You understand? So instead of fighting for what's best for your people, you'll fight for Africa. You'll fight for Egypt. You'll fight for Islam. You'll fight for weed. You'll fight for alternative rights. You'll fight for abortion. You'll fight for feminism. You'll fight for anything and be turned in every direction except what the Most High wants our people to do. And these were the things that the Lord warned us about. That's why Isaiah 42 and 22 says the entire nation is snared in holes. Like we are full in every trap in every direction. And that's why Christ rose up his disciples to go and get his people out of these traps. And how do you do that? By defiling the gods of the other nations, by not having mercy and sparing their gods. That's why when you see us go out to camp, we telling the brothers and sisters, Allah is not the Most High. He's not the God of the Bible. He's a rock sitting in the Middle East. And you would think, well, why would you say that about them? This is their God and their beliefs. Well, why would you do that? Because our people are trapped in Islam, being turned away from serving the Most High. And while we trapped in Islam, we overdosing on Percocets on the street. We overdosing on Molly on the street. We overdosing on crack cocaine. While the people of that God flood our communities with drugs and they don't get the life sentences. They not unaliving each other in Baltimore for the Arab drugs. We are. You understand? They not overdosing and nodding out all in Indianapolis, all in Richmond, all in Baltimore, all in Kensington, Philadelphia, all in Delaware. You understand? They not doped up. The Narcan is not for them to get the Narcan and shoot it up their nose before that overdose you understand, separates their soul from their body and they be gone. That's not for them. That's for us. So because our people are trapped in a covenant with another nation and people, we got to go out and defile those gods to wake our people up. Otherwise, they're going to perish in Islam. They're going to perish in Christianity, in that church, thinking that Jesus can work it out. When the oppressor came to unalive people in that black church, they were armed with prayer. They had prayer warriors when Dylan Roof went in that church. When a mentally ill sister came in Joel Osteen's church, Joel Osteen don't have prayer warriors in his church. Joel Osteen had real warriors with guns and rifles. You understand? And they put her down before the police got there because they not being taught to believe what you being taught to believe. They feeding that love everybody and hug while they send their army and their Marines to travel and bomb and unalive everybody. Like, we got to wake up from this fantasy world that we've been living in. And by us serving another God, we think we can be a part of this fantasy world. Even while every other people is in World War III, we still try. Let's just everybody just get together. Let's just be together. Let's just sing. Let's just dance. Let's just party. Let's just Super Bowl. Let's just, like, the Lord want to wake us up. You understand? He's trying to free us. All right. And we gonna get free. We gonna wake up. So this is what the Lord is explaining in Deuteronomy 7:4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. The Lord's anger will be against us for that, because he made us a special people. We don't have a right to go and now be another people, be somebody else, be an Egyptian, be a Moor, be a Rasta, be a Buddhist. We don't have no right to be a Democrat or a Republican or a Seventh-day Adventist or a Catholic or an Episcopal or a Methodist. We don't have no right to do that. The Lord already bought us as a people. He already made us special as a people. He already set a covenant in place with our forefathers from generations ago, for thousands of years ago. You understand? And this is the instructions that the Lord gave, that we physically did at that time, and we spiritually do this at this time. He said, thus shall ye deal with them. This is how you deal with them. You shall destroy their altars. Wherever they go to worship and it's something wonderful and great to them, that's fine. It should be something wonderful and great. America should be a wonderful and great thing. That flag is wonderful for our oppressor. It's wonderful for them. Islam is wonderful for the Arabs. It should be wonderful. They should love it. They should respect it. All of them should be a part of it and big it up. You understand? The dreadlocks and the weed and the Shivas and the Krishnas, all of that is wonderful for the East Indians. They should take it in and make it big and wonderful and do all of their dances and have their cow feces baths and have it all. They should have it. It's for them. But this is how we should deal with it. Ye shall destroy their altars. We're going to trash the idols that they worship, because our people have been harmed by their people. Our people have been victims of their rulership, and they rule over us with a cruel hand that they are going to pay for when Christ returns. And when we go out to camp on those streets, this is how we deal with them. We shall destroy their altars. That's why you see us with that Virgin Mary hanging at the end of a noose, Santa Claus at the end of a rope, all of their, and they break down their images like Caesar Borgia, that everyone thinks is Jesus Christ, when Jesus Christ is a so-called black man, a Negro from the ghettos. If he was alive today, he's a so-called black man. That's who Christ is. You understand? And our people have an image that we believe and look up to and worship, and we think that that is the God of the Bible. We think that that's who we're supposed to follow. But that's not true. You understand? Our people look at Jesus Christ and they see Caesar Borgia, that white image of Jesus Christ. The Bible says Jesus Christ is a black man. Caesar Borgia is the second son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. He was the alternative lifestyle lover of Leonardo da Vinci. He posed for the image of Christ during the Renaissance period. You understand? He unalived his father, Rodrigo Borgia. He had sex with his sister, Lucrezia Borgia, incest with his own sister. He posed for the image of Christ during the Renaissance period. That is the God that our people worship, and he is nothing compared to the real Hamashiach Yahushua in the Bible. He is the enemy of our people. He's not God. He's not the real Jesus. He is nothing. He is the image of the beast. And we trash that idol like the Bible said to do so that we can wake up and free our people. Give a damn who like it, who don't like it. We're not trying to be liked and loved like Ray Benzino crying on Drink Champs. We're not out here trying to be friends with everybody. You think they're gonna forfeit their gods and their religion to be your friend in the hood because you buy their liquor at the corner store? You think they're gonna trade Islam because Islam put our people in captivity for hundreds of years? You think they're gonna trade their African customs after centuries of selling us in the transatlantic slave trade? You think they're gonna throw that away so that they could be friends with you? Not at all. And we shouldn't throw away our heritage and the instructions from our God to join them. That's why the Lord said, don't make a covenant with them. Don't seek peace with another nation of people. The relationship we should have is the same one that they seek to have with us, a professional relationship. You work here, I work here. This job has rules. We follow these rules. Good morning. Hello. You understand? Just because you can have a pleasant conversation with someone, that doesn't mean you have to give your soul over to them. Just because you can occupy the same space and it not turn into a shootout or a stabbing or a fight, like it might turn out with your people because we are in captivity and under oppression, that doesn't mean that you give away your spirit and your love to another nation of people because you had a good time. You understand? Like that's something we got to get out of our spirit as a people because Christianity taught us that while not repairing the damage of the destruction that Christianity did to make us at each other, to make us each other's enemies. You understand? Church did that. You understand? So this is what the Most High is saying there. All right, he said to break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. You understand? Well, we do burn their graven images with fire. We burn them with fire. We burn them with the fire, just like it said to do. The fire that Christ came to send, we burn them with that fire. You understand? That baptism of fire that Christ talked about, that baptism of fire, that's what we you understand? That's what we burn them with. That's what we torture with. Isaiah 66 and 16 says, with fire. You understand? Baptized with. As a matter of fact, let me pull that. Let me pull that scripture there. Isaiah 66 and 16. The Lord said he plead for his people with a fire and a sword. You understand? White lady hey, the hell is that? So like, give me a second there. All right, Isaiah 66 and 16, it says, for by fire and with a sword will the Most High plead with all flesh. You understand? The Lord gonna plead with a fire. Christ sent that baptism of fire. That's when you hear us blazing on the street. A baptism of fire. You understand? That's what you saw out in the UK when the Palestinians came up against the UK camp. And they thought that they were supposed to be able to galvanize us loving black people so that they could just take it over. So that all of the love that we are not allowed to show to our own people, we had to relinquish our love over to the Palestinians because they going through something, you know, understand, with the Israeli man. However, the God of our fathers said that we're not supposed to make no covenant or show no mercy with the other nations and people. So what happens now? They coming up against to try to force us to love them. And the God of our father said that we supposed to only be down with him and our people. So now we got to have a conflict. You understand? And that's what it's always going to come to. And we the only people that is just now being forced to wake up and see that. And that's why the Spirit of the Lord put that on display. That in reality, it might seem like it, but these people are all against us as a nation. They're all against us. And the more and more we start to come back together as a people, you will see that these nations show their true colors. They show their true colors more and more. There it is, Luke chapter 3 and verse 15. I'm gonna get that Luke chapter 3 and verse 15. Select it. Luke chapter 3 and verse, what is it? That's what happened. Luke chapter 3. And the Lord said he gonna baptize with fire. When the UPK, we brings that fire to the street corners. He brings that fire. You understand? As a matter of fact, it's Luke chapter 3 and verse 16. The scriptures say, John answering, saying unto them all, I indeed baptize you with water. There was a water baptism to prepare the way for Christ. He said, I'm going to baptize you in water, but there's one mightier than I cometh, talking about Christ, the latchet of whose shoes I'm not worthy to unloose. He shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. You understand? Christ said, I come to set fire on earth. That's what we're doing here. Saying that Jesus Christ is a black man, that's set fire on the planet. You understand? Pull that there. You understand? Luke chapter 12 and verse 48. Christ said, I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I? Like, how will I be if it already be kindled? Meaning, when I get here, if there's already a fire burning, how would I feel? You understand? He would be overjoyed. He would be happy because he coming to bring a fire, and his servants is down here already starting one. Like, that's the spirit of the Lord. You understand? And here's what our people don't realize. When Captain Zaryak did some video and all of the conscious community cats were terrified because of the boot kiss that we've been getting for decades now, but they just finding out and they scared, thinking that it's going to make the devil, who's already been lynching and feeding our babies to alligators, all of a sudden be even more of a devil and do I don't know what else that he's not already done and doing right now. But that made them very afraid because they're not in the truth. They don't serve the Most High, and they should be because they're not in the truth and they don't serve the Most High. But in their mind and in their spirit, if they appease the oppressor, that this means that he won't oppress them. He won't be cruel because they have their own crumb in a safe space that the oppressor has allowed, that him destroying the rest of our people, we should just be okay with. And, don't push the issue too much. It could upset them. Like, that's a terrible spirit to have, and that's not the spirit of the Lord. And our people got that spirit from joining the other nations of people, which, of course, we here in the ISUPK, we don't have. All right. So the Lord is explaining there that they're graven images, the images that they hold up. That's why you hear us talk about Easter. You understand? Or Ishtar, all of their fertility holidays and festivals. Their Mother's Day, more fertility holidays and festivals. A ton of them always in May. And their Saturnalia, all of their holidays, like for Christmas, worshiping Nimrod and the winter solstice, all of these in the new year, Janus and February with Father Time and Cronus. All of these things there that are the gods of another nation of people that come from a graven image that they made a statue of something that today is the holiday that you and most people don't even know about unless you come in the UPK to be taught that these are the gods of the other nations the Lord told us not to celebrate. That's why when you come in here, we teach you, well, sister, even though you're a mother, We don't celebrate Mother's Day, and here's why. We don't celebrate Valentine's Day like Lupercalia. That Valentine's Day that just passed, not only is it a holiday about prostitution, it's also about Lupercalia, an evil, evil thing where Romans would carve out the heart of their lovers on the battlefield, carve out the heart of their enemies and give it to their lover on the battlefield. Imagine a holiday where everybody thinks it's about one thing, but the origin and the root of that holiday, who knew that that Valentine's Day celebration, in addition to the prostitution that I explained to you what was about in more modern times, but this was the celebration of a man carving out the heart of another enemy army and then giving it to his alternative lifestyle lover so that this would, produce fertility, and taking strips of flesh of animals that they sacrifice and then whipping other naked men chasing around for a damn fertility holiday and festival. You understand? Did anybody learn that about Valentine's Day? Anybody learn that? Because that's what the hearts are about. That's what the celebration is about. That's where it comes from. Anybody learned about Lupercalia before? Anybody ever heard of that? What about you sisters? I know they pushed that Valentine's Day on a woman, damn near like Christmas. They pushed that Valentine's Day on a woman. Did anybody ever learn that about Lupercalia? Anybody ever learn that? Maybe in school, history class, science. What about in church? Everybody went to church. They never taught you about Valentine's Day. They were selling the flowers and the hearts and the teddy bears and the big baskets, but they didn't teach you what exactly it was. You understand? The festival of ancient Rome. It's a festival of ancient Rome observed annually on February the 15th to purify the city, promoting health and fertility. You understand? In ancient Rome, they gradually started leaving their clothes on during the celebration, and annual sacrifice was eventually prohibited. You understand? It was the sacrifice of the goat. Goat's blood was wiped on the forehead of two young men that would then be given whips made of goat skin so that they would get naked and whip each other with bloody goat flesh and chase each other around a bunch of alternative lifestyle paradise. You understand? All kind of animals, flesh and blood, and nasty, gory, vile affections. You understand? Like that's what it was about. You understand? Like we don't know what these other nations are. We don't know their cultures as a people. We think it's something great and something wonderful and beautiful when in reality, this is what it is. Now, if you and everybody else knew this, I guarantee they wouldn't be giving out these hearts and chocolates at school with your kindergartners. They wouldn't be teaching your kids, how do you draw the love symbol? And then everybody draw the heart symbol. They wouldn't draw that heart if they knew what that heart was about. You understand? But because this is the ancient customs of another nation of people, they're still honoring their ancient Roman culture and heritage while telling you you should not honor your heritage of being an Israelite. Think about that. Like this is from ancient Rome and beyond. But they telling you that you can't be the real children of God. That was so long ago, that's in the past. They still doing Rome. Every December the 14th, they doing Rome without fail. You understand? Like that's why the Lord said we got to stand for our culture. You understand? We standing here. All right. So I just wanted to make sure y'all know that. Hold on one second. Like this, what's going on here? All right. So let's see. Now we go back to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 7. The scripture said, the Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people. We weren't the most. We weren't the most. We weren't more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people. What do they call us now? What do they call black people? What do they call Native Americans? What do they call so-called Latinos. What do they call you now? They call you a minority. You understand? And spiritually, you still called a minority. Call you a minority. And the Lord said he chose you because you were the fewest of all people. The fewest of all people. Like the Lord loved us, he swore an oath to our forefathers. You understand? And he not letting up on that oath. And there was a side if we obeyed him, and there was a side if we disobeyed him. And he held his end of the bargain. We did not hold ours. And now we getting back to it. You understand? All right, all right. More than high now. All right, take away the sickness. Like the Lord promised us so many wonderful things. You understand? And we fighting to get those back. So let's get some more. In just a moment, let's see. All right. And the Lord says this. As a matter of fact, let's read verse 8. He said, because the Most High loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers. And the Most High had brought you out with a mighty hand, with his power, his miracles, the plagues that he put on Egypt, the hail, the locusts, the frogs, the hemorrhoids, the turning the water into blood. And lastly, that death angel that slid through Egypt, you understand, on that Passover night. And he redeemed us out of the house of bondmen, meaning the entire Egypt was set up as a house where men ruled over other men, of bondmen, meaning at every level, that's where we are now in America. At every level, there is someone ruling over us. There's someone ruling over us at the housing level. At the housing level, they're able to decide you can live here, you can't live here. They're able to rule over us at the educational level. They're controlling us. You aren't allowed to learn this. You aren't allowed to be taught this in schools. Your schools can't have this type of history, this type of education. This is the education that's provided for your school, that's provided to your people. At every level, there is someone ruling over us as a bondman, some man that has a price on our head. That's why it's a school to prison pipeline. You understand? It's a pipeline because there's a price on how much they can get from mass incarcerating our people with a poor education system. And they know that it's a direct correlation. That's why they called it the school to prison pipeline. You understand? So this is what the scriptures was talking about. And this is why the Lord fell on the Egyptians so hard. You understand? All the evil that they did to our people is still being discovered to this day from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Most High thy power, that he is the power. Not Allah, not Buddha, not Haile Selassie, not Hare Krishna, nobody else. He is the power, not Caesar Borgia, the faithful power, which keepeth the covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. You understand? This is not just for us, this was for our future generations. You understand? By keeping these commandments and repay of them. The Lord said he will pay them back that hate him to their face. You understand? We know that love the Most High is keep his commandments. To hate the Most High is to not keep his commandments, to break his law, statutes, and commandments. And he said he would pay them back to their face that do not obey them, to destroy them. That's what you see what's happening with Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors was on the top of the world. Lovecraft Country, a movie here. He in Creed, he in Marvel Cinematic Universe. He all over the world. He at the super top. You understand? But he did something evil against the Most High. He married himself unto the daughters of another nation of people, to the daughters of our oppressor. And that oppressor turned on him. You understand that Karen, that he loved Karen so much? Well, he went and got Karen, and Karen turned on him. And now he lost everything. He dragged his name through the mud. And you see on video, she beating him. He running for his life. She chasing him like a German shepherd. This is what the Lord said, not to do this. The Lord said, don't do that. And now, because he's done this evil, the Lord turned on him and paid him back to his face. Like the Lord said, a man should not wear that which pertaineth unto a woman. You understand? But this oppressor has created an alternative lifestyle that said that you got rights to live an alternative lifestyle. He said, a woman shall not wear that which pertain unto a man. A woman is not supposed to act like a man, look like a man, carry herself like a man. You are not supposed to have to guess or wonder, is this a woman or a man? The idea that a woman would present herself in any way that would make you have to question if she's a woman or a man, that is against God. The idea that a man would present himself in such a way that would behave himself or carry himself or dress himself in such a way that you would have to guess, is this a man under there? Did it used to be a man? All of that is against God 100%. It's many commandments against that. Well, our oppressor has convinced our people, along with his Christian religion, that a man and a woman can live alternative lifestyles. So the Lord's words don't mean anything because joining them has turned away our sons and daughters from serving the Most High. So now the Lord will repay them back to their face. That's where that AIDS comes from. That's where that HIV comes from. That's where that smallpox, that monkeypox coming from. You understand? That's where that, you understand, the hepatitis coming from. The Lord said that an ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. Smoking weed is against the Most High. It's against the Lord. Like we are not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to get high, you understand, because it's boring, because it's Tuesday, because it make you feel good, you understand? You're not allowed to do that. That's against the Most High. Smoking anything is against the Lord. You understand? So now our people have decided, because of the cultures of the other nations and people, that it became, remember how we started the class, things became culturally acceptable. Weed, cigars. At one point in time, it was just home rolled up tobacco, smoking the tobacco pipe, and smoking the tobacco pipes and smoking the cigars. And that's all it was at one point in time. And then the Lord got tired of people despising him by not keeping his commandments, because the preachers were not teaching us what the Lord said, and we took the customs of the people who put us in captivity, which we now have to unlearn. And because of that, they said, you know what? Let's put some more chemicals in the things that people are already smoking so that they'll smoke more. Not the tobacco in their pipe. Let's roll them up so that they don't have to roll it themselves. We'll roll it and sell it to them. And then they come up with Marlboros and Virginia Slims and Winstons and good old Newports and White Owls and Garcia Vegas and Dutch Masters. Let's put sugar in it. Let's put nicotine and other addictive substances. And before you know it, you're seemingly harmless, smoking the tobacco pipe and the cigar. Is from the earth and it's natural. Before you know it, an evil man who the Lord appointed to be wicked is now able to capitalize off of us disobeying the Most High so that the Lord repay you to your face. Now you're not just smoking the pipe. Now you're hooked on cigarettes. You're hooked on black and mild. You're hooked. If that was not enough, now he come out with weed. Now he make that mass available. That was not enough. Now the same person that the Lord made to be the wicked, to play the devil, because the Lord gave us instructions and he said he would pay us back to our face for disobeying him. Well, now that evil man is going to come up with more evil. He's going to come up with new stuff to smoke. He's going to come up with heroin. You'll be able to smoke that tar. You can shoot it up now. You can smoke it. Come up with crack cocaine and crystal meth and ice and fentanyl and PCP and embalming fluid and sherm and love boat and everything. And before you know it, because the Lord said he would repay us to our face, now you won't be able to smoke a tobacco pipe 20, 30 years. You won't be able to do that because it angered the Lord, but the Lord was patient. So now your son is going to start smoking. But instead of him smoking in his old age like you, he's going to smoke at 12. And he's going to get addicted to Newports. And he's going to get addicted to Black and Milds. And by the time he's 15 and 16, that high won't cut it. And he'll need weed. And it won't be the same weed that the Lord was furious about you smoking in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. Now it'll be weed laced with PCP. Now it'll be angel dust. Now it'll be an embalming fluid. Now it'll have fentanyl. Now there'll come another high. There'll come crack cocaine. Now there'll come a stronger high. There'll come crystal meth. Now they'll take heroin and put it into ice cubes. They call it cheese and ice. And now, before you know it, more than half of our people will be strung out on drugs. And here comes the heart attacks. Here comes the overdoses. You understand? Here comes the gum disease. Here comes the Lyme disease. Here comes the lung disease. Here come the colon's going bad. And the prostate's going bad because of the smoking. And the uterus going bad because of all the smoking. The Lord said he would repay us to our face. The Lord said you cannot eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Our oppressor said it's a delicacy. We joined him and turned our face from serving the Most High. Now we eat what he says we can, and the hell with the Lord's rules. The Lord said, fine, I'll repay them. I'll pay you back with those swollen bones, with that gout, with that arthritis, with that high blood pressure. I'll pay you back with that hypertension, with that pain in your joint, in your hands and feet is pain and swelling, and your knees and your back full of pain. Taking a whole bunch of pills, sitting in the emergency room screaming for Jesus. The Lord said, I will pay you back to your face, to them that hate me. And that's what's been happening to us since God knows how long. That's why he sent the prophets out to tell our people this is how we turn back to the Most High. That's why he sent Christ to give us another chance to show us how to be right because we were so far off for so many generations. We had been without a teaching priest. That's why the Lord rose up the Isupk to teach our people. Listen, I know you've been eating this your whole life, sister, but the Lord has rules. He's got dietary laws and rules. We got to turn back and do this. I know you've been getting stressed out and smoking weed and smoking cigarettes, but listen, it's brothers and sisters that came in smoking weed and cigarettes, and now they don't. You can get over it. You can get over it. The brotherhood and sisterhood will help you. It'll help you. You understand? I know you've been this and been through this and been through that. We all been through a ton of things. But the Spirit of the Lord is here to help us out of the trouble and everything that we suffered as a people so that we can rebuild the Lord's nation again. And there, all of the protection and everything the Lord promised us, we rebuilding it back, and the Lord will be with us again. That's what was going on. That's the whole Bible. That's what the Lord has been trying to do from the very beginning. The whole thing was to set us above so that the other nations of people could not prey on us because the Lord made us special. We didn't even realize. You understand? So with that, we're going to go ahead and end it there a little over the time. All right. We're going to go ahead and end it there. We at the ISUPK. We start out 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. Make sure you pay your tithe or write to isupk.com. Rule for new brother and sister. When brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. It'll be saluted only. They're here to learn and shed themselves of the world. After this 6-month period, if a brother or sister has a particular interest in anyone, they're to get counsel from the head to speak to a brother or sister. These rules and laws are very important. Do not get thrown out of the school figuring that you've grown and my body, my choice, and we do what we want and this and that. You will get thrown out and you'll be going right back to church after talking all of that trash about Jesus being black and we the Israelites and you Christians is evil and we not supposed to be Muslims. Don't egg your face. Don't make the Lord repay you to your face by violating the rules that God has set up in this school. You understand? After that 6-month period, if a brother or sister has a particular interest in anyone, they will get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. Not be in anyone's DMs. Do not be into their messengers. Do not be trying to get people's numbers and sneak here and there on the side. Everyone is going to find out. The Lord tells the prophets the future. You understand? The Lord tells the men that you see here in these classes that he appointed the future. Future that you can't see, the future that your mom and daddy can't see, and no one else that you've met on the planet can't see it. No matter how much money they have, how much schooling they have, how much crystals and sage that they burn, the Lord gives the prophets the ability to say and see the future. It's going to come out. It always does. It always will, because the Lord loves this place. You understand? After this 6-month period, a brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. You get permission in here. You understand? Tithes is a commandment from the Most High. 10% of any penny of any increase the Most High gives to you, give to the school. Go to isupk.com, pay your tithes, put your 10%. You find $20 on the ground. You get a stimulus check. You hit the lottery. You get a settlement from whatever. Pay your tithes. 90% belongs to you. 10% belongs to the Lord. The only place and way to pay your tithes is to send them to Commanding General Yohana. Send them to the Isupk. That's the only person the Lord set up to lead and teach this nation. All right. Upcoming high holy days, we have the Feast of Purim coming up coming up tomorrow and Friday, remembering our sister Esther and the amazing job she did hazarding her life to save all of ours. You'll learn about all of that these next 2 days, coming up on Thursday and Friday. And lastly, if any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, they're to be in all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. If you're watching online, be in all black. Contact the Isupk school in whatever city or state or country that you are living in or watching in. Make sure that you let the school know that you want to be a trooper in the Isupk. Make sure that you communicate. If you are a sister, you cannot be a trooper, but you still need to contact the school. Let the school know that you want to be a sister in the school. Anyone can watch videos online and sign in for attendance. Take the necessary step to let the school know so that you get into the habit of checking in and being in a part of the actual body and not just attending classes online. Let all things be done in decency and in order. All right. And with that, we give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakathum. To the sisters, Yahweh Shamar Al Athun Ba'Shem Yahushai. With that, class dismissed. All right. Like, share, subscribe. It supports, help the algorithms. Everybody make sure y'all hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment on the videos. Check out all of these blackity black things we got right here on the channel. The Bible is Black, 31 episodes, all the things you never learned about the Bible, all of the black inventions that blacks and Latinos have created, the child molestation series, fighting against child molestation, right here on this channel, Isupk Virginia, No Cowards Richmond. All right, and with that, shalom.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 55th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yohana is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
Us in here, but this is about an oppressive, fucked up system designed to keep niggas down and shit. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. What about you, little nigga? You know about that?
Yes.
Oh, you know about that? Tell me what you know about that. Tell me what you think about that.
I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. Belly of the beast, we been living in hell. They like, damn Kai, how could you tell? Put us in the project, set us up to fail. Round here, bullets be flying like hell. Too many of my niggas either dead or in jail. Make a nigga work when you locked in a cell. Can't find work when you out on bail, but your homie got the work, so we passed you a scale. Got them birds like the Bible got quail. Niggas selling out cause they mama got bills. Turning to coons like Oprah and Gail. How you sell your soul just to get a little kale? They put you in a dress when you get a record deal. Wanna see a nigga getting high on pills? You can dance on a pole, you can sell that tail, but they never tell a nigga that he can go to Yale. We all created equal, that's white males. All lives matter, not black males. Another mother crying, another coffin got a nail. How many brothers out here got killed? How many of our sisters out here gotta heal? How many more caps gotta get peeled? We beef with each other so quick to pull the steel. George Zimmerman still alive and well. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Feel. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. Feel. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. Chill. Yo, chill!
The industrial complex is a system situated at the intersection of government and private interests. It uses prisons as a solution to social, political, and economic problems. It includes human rights violations, the death penalty, slave labor, policing, courts, the media, political prisoners, and the elimination of dissent.
They just want us to die in silence. They just want us to die in silence. They just want us to die in silence. I might start me a fucking riot. Slave rebellion, no compliance. They just want us to die in silence. They murder minds like they got a license. I pray for the coronavirus to kill all of these violent tyrants. They prey on us like they poaching lions. World War III's on the horizon. Black and Hispanics form alliance. From the west coast to the islands, this pressure is making diamonds. They've awakened sleeping giants. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. But feel.
Nigga, did you just say what I was trying to say, but smarter? I like this little nigga.